Hi, I'm Chuck Olinick. I'm a reenactor. That means I tend to wear funny clothes and try to bring the past to life. And for 36 years, I did that in the classroom, dressing the part for whatever time period we were studying. Well, that's led to an entire room full of garb at home. I still have a passion for bringing the past to life, and I'm trying to preserve landmarks, because landmarks tend to go away, especially with whatever might be considered politically correct. So what I'm doing is I'm on a very pretentious sounding mission odyssey, where I'm going to visit each of the missions in Alta California, each of the Estancias. Those are the spin-off missions, or intended to be the spin-off missions. Each of the estancias that I could find, those are the ranchos that raise cattle to help support the missions. And each of the presidios, those were the fortifications designed to protect the missions. And what I'm doing now is I've been exploring Mission San Fernando Rey de España and heard about basically a landmark of a estancia that's about 15 miles away, Estancia San Francisco. So I'm going to go see what's there, try to create a visual record, and I hope you'll join me. When I started this mission odyssey, I didn't know what an estancia was. I had to educate myself. I certainly had never heard of Estancia San Francisco Xavier. And during the course of this, I ended up finding out more than I expected. This is why this is a second trip to the estancia. I didn't know about the Tatavian, and I didn't know how this had been set up. But the Tatavian were put to work, farming, raising cattle. That's the mission brand for Mission San Fernando. It was in the 2nd Military District, so it had to supply the Santa Barbara Presidio. And this is the diseño that marked off the territory. Don Antonio has this. He has Rancho San Francisco, the former Estancia San Francisco. He also has a second marriage and children from that, and he has an estranged son, Ignacio, from the first marriage. Don Antonio wants to reconcile with his son Ignacio, who is a big deal. He's been in the military, served in a number of different places. Well, now the Army is discharging him around 1840, and Don Antonio wants his son to come home, his new home. He says, you will have custody of the ranch, you will own the rancho. And unfortunately, Ignacio receives the letter after Don Antonio passes. Ignacio, the grieving son, returns to take possession of Rancho San Francisco. Unfortunately, maybe Don Antonio should have discussed this more with his second wife, Doña Jacoba, because now there is a fight over who is in charge and who owns Rancho San Francisco. Whether it is Doña Jacoba, who is now remarrying, and she'll marry Don Jose Salazar, or will Don Ignacio inherit? So there's that tension. There's another reason to fight over this land. March 9th, 1842, Francisco Lopez, he is the uncle of Antonio's second wife, Doña Jacoba, and his two friends, Manuel Cota and Domingo Bermudez. They are going through this area. This is Placerita Canyon. And under one of the numerous oak trees, Francisco Lopez decides to take a nap, according to the story. And he dreams he's floating on a pool of gold. Well, when he wakes up, he pulls at some wild onions that are growing, at least that's the story, and he sees gold flakes around there. And this is going to trigger a gold rush. This will be before the 1849, 49ers, gold rush. And, there's enough gold here for it to be commercially viable. There's probably like about $43,000 that gets pulled out, within the first year. Now, it does sound like kind of a, whimsical accident that the gold was discovered, but Lopez had studied mineralogy in Mexico, and so he was pretty actively looking for gold. But this is now just one more set of tensions to throw into the fight over Rancho San Francisco. In the meantime, don't worry about Don Ignacio. He's not really hurting for money. He ends up also acquiring the Rancho Tejon area, which was really huge. So he's got that land to fall back on. He's also going to be serving in numerous offices in the area. He'll be the juez de campo, or judge of the plains, for the San Francisco mining area. He's going to be a treasurer. He's going to serve as the alcalde of Los Angeles. He's a busy man. So the mine has been played out in Placerita Canyon since about 1843. Well, now the Mexican War is going on. And in 1847, things are not looking well for the Californios. And as Fremont's forces come through the Rancho and come down the Newhall Pass, Don Ignacio decides to blow up the mine, just to make sure the Americans don't get a hold of it. It was here in 1850 that two refugees from a party coming over through Death Valley, William Manly Lewis and John Rogers, they showed up here and they begged for supplies, food, animals to go get the people out of Death Valley that had come here to California seeking gold. So it was a good deed. There will be big changes in the area, of course, now that the Americans are here. For one, they're going to have everybody reapply for their land grants. And that could be a very lengthy, expensive process. For another, they decide they're going to divide up California their way, so they divide it up into 27 counties. And Rancho San Francisco is going to be split between Los Angeles County and Santa Barbara County, which is going to confuse a lot of people, because later on what's going to happen is Santa Barbara is going to split into Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. It took some 17 years before things were settled between Don Ignacio and Doña Jacoba. She received the eastern portion of the Rancho, which included the Estancia buildings and all that. Don Ignacio retired here, and this is the western end of the Rancho that is in now. It's now in Ventura County, and this is the Camulos Rancho. And this place it's got a bit of fame behind it, because there's a lot of people that believe that this is the source material for the novel Ramona. Others will claim, no, it was a San Diego ranch. Yeah, that's nice. My bet's here. Don Ignacio at first split his time between a house on what is now Alvera Street and Camulos. There he settled down with his then 14-year-old bride, Isabel Varela, and the 4-room adobe house began to expand over time. It ended up becoming a 20-room house, and it turned into a self-sustaining ranch, complete with a brick winery, a chapel, a barn, and workers' housing. He also became the largest vintner in the area. A stagecoach line would pass through in 1874 and 1887. Southern Pacific ran a rail line right past the ranch. But things are going to turn dark when a really savage, brutal drought hits and kills cattle all over California. Now, there still persisted the rumors of Spanish gold hidden, from the 1842 gold rush, and the buildings of Rancho San Francisco were completely vandalized, and these tiles that you're looking at are all that remain. What grew up in the neighborhood. This is why I'm on this mission Odyssey. If you're looking for something that shows that these places existed, well, for Estancia San Francisco Xavier, these plaques are it. So far on this mission Odyssey, we have accomplished, 3 assistencias, a presidio, a study of an estancia, a couple of mission dams, and 5 missions accomplished. So now it's follow the 15 miles back to Mission San Fernando Rey de España, and then I'm going up the road following the Camino Real to Mission San Buenaventura, and I hope you stick with me.